Hello, Cancer. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Cancer is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Cancer, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And 5 of Pentacles. I feel like you're somebody who, you like routine, okay? You like kind of and you know, we're Cancers after all, right? So I feel like we like our home base. We like our house, our room, our home, our apartment, our car even. We like our personal space. You know, we like it to feel comfortable. We like to be able to put our pajamas on and relax in our space and be ourselves and and do what we want to do and kind of, you know, pursue those things that interest us. Okay? And I feel like we also like venturing outside of that place sometimes. And I wonder if right now you're kind of in a mode where you're in this really like kind of exploratory mood. Yeah, because the 5 of Pentacles, it really is, it's about us kind of, you know, out there trying new things. It's like sometimes we just want to go outside and see what the world's like. Yeah. So we like getting out of our routine. We like getting out of our normal, comfortable surroundings and just seeing what's out there, experimenting with things. I feel like you've been doing that more recently, and I wonder if one of those times where you kind of went out of your comfort zone and you tried some new things, or you kind of went outside of your routine a little bit, I wonder if you kind of were met with a little bit of challenge, right? Or a little bit of opposition, a little bit of difficulty. Okay, the 5 of Pentacles sometimes is this worry over material things. And I sometimes feel that that's like when you step out of your comfort zone, when you do something different than what you're used to, it makes us a little worried. It makes us a little bit anxious, thinking, I just need to stay doing what I know, doing what's familiar because I know it works. Here I'm out here trying something else. I don't know if it's going to work. And so we're worried about it. We almost think, I need to rush back to where I was and keep that routine going. So there's sometimes a reluctance to deviate too much from what we know works. Okay? It's that experimentation energy, right? Let's see what we're doing with this. Let's see where this might be taking us, okay? Wheel of Fortune. Interesting. Wheel of Fortune is really about expansion, right? We're kind of, with the Wheel of Fortune, it's almost as if we're understanding that nothing really binds us, that there really is no limit to what we can pursue in life, to what we can achieve, what we can experience. Okay? And achievement and experience and all these things, they're kind of vague notions, right? They're really abstract nouns. What is achievement? What is an achievement? What is an accomplishment? What is success, right? What is an experience even? I think it's very unique to you, and I think this is where your personal sense of destiny comes into it. Because the Wheel of Fortune is the divine timing. It kind of says that, you know, there is a, I was going to say there's a season for everything, but this is kind of beyond seasons, right? This is larger timescales, I think. That you have been kind of going out and coming back. You've been testing something and coming back and experimenting and returning to center. I wonder if it's really, if it's time to figure out what path we really want to take and go all the way. right? There's, we can go out and come back in as many times as we need to. We're out there testing the waters. We'll go back to where it's safe. Okay. We'll go and we'll experiment over here. We'll try a few different paths. We'll always come back to center, or come back to what's familiar, come back to the home base. Yeah. But it kind of feels like this Jupiter energy, this Wheel of Fortune, is showing us that, hey, it's time to just take it. It's time to pick the road and go all the way with it. See how far you can take this, rather than kind of turning around and coming back. Or we meet an obstacle and we say, okay, I'm not quite there yet. Okay. Let's keep going with a few more cards here. And let's see. I've got some. Yeah, there's the adjustment. I feel like we're testing something out. We're testing the boundaries. We're going out and on a little kind of exploratory mission. We're feeling our way forward a little bit, then we're coming back. And we're doing these adjustments, right? We've got that Libra energy here. We're making just these little modifications to things. We're testing the road, we're testing the car, we're seeing what it's like out there, and we're taking it back home and say, okay, I need to adjust the timing. I gotta maybe do the spark plugs. I gotta maybe I need a little bit more air in the tires, or I gotta adjust the suspension or something like that. And then we kind of go out again and test it and be like, no, it's missing something, it needs something else. Or we go out and the car gets a flat tire or breaks down, and we think, oh, now I really don't even want to do it at all anymore. I think this is your ability to always take the information at hand and translate it into something kind of productive and practical that we can modify. Okay, so whether this is something that's kind of taking place more in, in career, or in your personal life, or just in your perception of the world, in your experience of life, right? I feel like it's kind of one of those, it's kind of a Cancer thing, where we go out and let's say we go to a place we've never really been, there's a lot of people, and we have some interactions, and then we go back home. And then we kind of analyze it, right? With the Libra energy, with this adjustment card, this isn't just about us being anxious or like criticizing, oh God, I can't believe I said that, I can't believe that it was so awkward, It's not that. Because that wouldn't be a major arcana card. That would be like maybe a 5 of swords, right? Something like this. But this is that higher discernment, that higher wisdom. And it's almost like showing us that, hey, that wasn't so bad. That I can make progress doing that. And maybe it takes a few times. Maybe I have to go out and come back in many, many times, right? But at some point, I have to release myself of that kind of safety net, right? But I think that this is us beginning to realize what we are capable of. Yeah. And being willing to kind of, go out and do this. Go out and kind of not have that umbilical, right? Not have that tether back to that old place, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically even, whatever, right? And just saying, I'm going to be out here and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to see what becomes of it. Okay. Let's keep going here. The moon. Interesting, yeah. The moon is the idea of uncertainty. Okay. And that's exactly what we're kind of doing here. We know it's time. We know it's time for us to really focus on this aspect of our life, whatever realm of life we're talking about. I think we know it's time for us to focus on that and level up and expand this area of life, even with all of its sort of anxiety and its worries, even with all the obstacles and things. With the obstacles, I feel like the more obstacles you encounter, the more wisdom you gain, the more you know how to deal with obstacles because you've been through so many of them. There is a point, I think, in all of this where we do have to say, look, all of this kind of practice isn't really, it's not helping me anymore. The practice is, I've kind of surpassed that. I can't really practice this anymore. I can't get any better, right? So now it's time to go do it for real. But the moon card is us really being concerned about that because we don't know how it's going to turn out. And the moon is kind of saying, well, you know, you can practice and train for every possible variable, but something unexpected will always happen. Okay? I think there's a suggestion here of kind of going back to our roots, reconnecting with our allies, reconnecting with our home base again, but then realizing that once we pick a destination, once we pick a path, we have to set out on that adventure. Okay? And that's the way we're really going to achieve. That's the way we're really going to have the really big win. There's the Prince of Swords. The Prince of Swords is fixed air energy. This is making that decision and we're sticking to it. In our mind is saying yes. It's kind of like, it's almost that mantra. It's almost that mind over heart, mind over matter kind of thing. We see the motif in cartoons, but in TV shows and movies and books. It's somebody who is doing something kind of uncomfortable, and they feel the anxiety, and they're sweating, and their heart is racing, and they want to run back home, but they're just kind of mentally repeating, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And we're just pushing ourselves, and before we know it, we're on the other side of it, and we're thinking, hey, that wasn't so bad, I did it, right? And that's the Prince of Swords. That is that fixed air energy. That is us keeping in mind that positive affirmation, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. Even if the rest of us is like scared, shitless, you know? Even if the rest of us really wants to run back the other direction, okay? Because again, with the moon, you're out here in an unknown place. You're doing something that you've never done before, whether this is pushing yourself to make some progress in your career or in your art, your spirituality, your relationships, family, friends, your pets, your plants, your people, okay? Whatever realm of life this is, you're stepping into the unknown, and that is always kind of freaky, kind of scary, right? And we can prepare for every possible eventuality, but something unexpected will always happen. And I think as long as you know that, then we can sort of keep that mental, keep that mental mantra going. I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And look at that. The Jupiter energy is leading you right to your star. It's time for you to discover who you are and why you're here. Okay? This is you realizing that path and committing to it. And there's this kind of promise from the divine that this is going to be a really big win. Okay? But we've got to take that really kind of anxious moment and just run with it. Just stay fixed in that to say, I'm going to do it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. One foot in front of the other. And this is the path that is meant for you. This is now, you are certain where you are going. Right? And I think with this, I think you've always had a sense of your destiny. You've always kind of known sort of what your path is. And I think with the Five of Pentacles, we've been exploring different ways of this manifesting. Right? You've been doing that kind of exploratory, research kind of stuff. But now this is really just the direct shot. Right? This is the path that leads you where you want to be. And this is what you're discovering through trial and error, through experimentation, through that exploratory kind of, practice and all that sort of stuff, right? And this is a real liberation. Yeah, this is a real liberation. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're just going to set it down over here. We're going to put Kevin, aka Mr. Bates, right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together. And it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free, and it helps out the channel, and of course, I really do appreciate that. General energy now, path of the serpent. The Ace of Cups. Wow, that's love. This is kind of an idea here that you're pursuing that absolute divine spiritual experience, right? This is the cup that the star is using to scoop the divine waters here, the spiritual waters. Yeah, it's the Holy Grail. This is your quest. This is your path, and there's no uncertainty anymore, right? And I think this is a path that is going to kind of rock your boat. We've got the Five of Pentacles, right? It's going to cause some uneasiness, but I think there's a sense of like divine intervention here, that this is really going to put you exactly where you belong. Okay, in your kind of either the Ace of Cups, either that love relationship, spiritual love, platonic love, romantic love, self-love, all of those things. Maybe this is the dream job. Maybe this is the liberation of your joy and happiness, and this overcoming of any kind of self-doubt or the anxiety that sometimes limits us, right? The worry. It's a liberation. It's saying that you're free to love how you want to love. You're free to experience life full of this water energy. This is the Ace of Cups. This is the source of all love. And this love then branches out and differentiates into all sorts of different types of love and joy and bliss and pleasure and, romantic, platonic, self-love, divine love. All the different rivers that trickle out from this, that rush, that flow out, really not even a trickle, from the Ace of Cups. And so it's really freeing your heart. It's allowing you to experience that kind of bliss, without the anxiety or the limitation. Okay, and I think that's what we're going for, right? We're untying that knot of that Five of Pentacles, and we're discovering our path, and we're following our path, and it's opening up our heart, and it feels amazing, right? This is really this is the real win. This is the real win, having this Ace of Cups. In the environment, Knight of Swords. We have the Prince of Swords and the Knight of Swords. This is really confident decision making, right? This is kind of this is the connection between our thoughts and our will. Okay, this is the connection really with our thoughts and kind of holding on to that one thought, right? We hold that thought in our mind that I'm doing it, I'm doing it, I'm doing it. And before we know it, the body and the mind and the heart are doing it. Like, wow, that's the power of thought. The power of concentrated thinking with the Prince of Swords. This is the power of kind of innovative thinking, right? It's really taking that impulse from the will, let's say from the Ace, from the source, from that divine energy. It's kind of saying anything that you want to do, if you hold it in your mind, and you concentrate on it, and you use the fixed air, the positive kind of affirmation sort of thing, you can accomplish it. That your body and stuff will fall in line, right? And so the Knight of Swords is our ability to make those kinds of decisions and to feel unfettered, right? It's almost as if you're now in your mind, that anything you concentrate your focus on, you can do, you can accomplish, you can experience, right? And if we're focusing on love and joy and pleasure and beauty and harmony and bliss and, all of the different things that rush out from this Ace of Cups, all we have to do is think it, right? We think things into being. What you think about, you become. And with the Five of Pentacles, I think it's awfully close to the Five of Swords, right? That we experience challenges, and I think it does sometimes translate into us not believing in ourselves. And that creates a limitation. If I believe I can't, then I can't, right? If I believe I am doing it, then I am doing it. So let's not underestimate the power of focused thoughts, positive thoughts. Yeah. The obstacle is art. For this card, it feels like it's the furnace. It feels like it's the trials and tribulations of life as the obstacle. But that is where the art happens, right? So if we think of a challenging experience, we think of something 5 of Pentacles, but there's this divine intervention now. This Wheel of Fortune energy is here. The Jupiter energy spirit is saying, this is important, pay attention. Anytime you're in a challenging environment, that's an opportunity for you to bring your unique skills and talents to the table and create art, right? Maybe literally, but I'm kind of speaking figuratively here. In other words, every challenging situation is an opportunity for you to be you and bring your consciousness to it, bring your flavor of life into it. It's kind of like I tell my daughter, sometimes she gets scared of things, or she's 4 now, but when she was 2 and 3, she used to talk about being scared, and we would talk about the close connection between being scared and being brave. And I told her, I said, you show me anybody that's brave, and I'll bet you they're very scared. Because being scared, when you're afraid of something, when you have that anxiety, when you're in that difficult situation, and you feel it viscerally, right? You start to get sweaty, your heart's racing, blood pressure goes up, and this sort of thing. That's an opportunity for you to be brave. That's an opportunity for you to be you, right? For you to shine, for you to push yourself and grow and challenge and to bring your unique art to the table, right? Think of somebody in the kitchen. It's your time to shine. The pressure's on. You're in that pressure cooker, and you've got to bring your own unique flavor of things. Yeah. I don't really know a better way to explain that, but I feel like it's you finding the value in the challenges, finding the opportunities in the difficult situations. When we push ourselves beyond our comfort zone in life, that's where we really find out who we are. That's when we're really we're able to perform, for better or for worse. Maybe we perform, then we go back home and we think, oh gosh, next time I need to do something different. And that's, I think, the reason for the practice, right? I wouldn't be surprised if you're somebody who you have to have that very difficult kind of anxiety-laden conversation with your boss or something, and you're kind of rehearsing it the day before, and that's all well and good, but when you get there and you have that conversation, it's not going to come out the way you rehearsed it, okay? Or if you try, it's going to make it really awkward, right? Because it's kind of like we're reading a script in our head and we're not really in the moment. So we feel like somebody who's going out on stage for the first time, or going to do a performance, or maybe you're even going to give a speech or a presentation, or you're going to do an open mic, right? You've got to practice, and you can rehearse, and you can hone your skills, and you can kind of test the waters with your friends or just in front of the mirror or whatever. But when you get there, that's the art card. That's where we're not just going to, read the mental script. We're going to let it flow. Right? That is where we're just going to be spontaneous. We're going to let it come out. And it's hopefully going to be somewhat the way I practiced it. But it's going to be a little bit more spontaneous. We're going to be reacting to the environment and to the energy of the moment. For better or for worse, maybe you're going to bomb, right? Maybe you're doing stand-up comedy, right? And you can tell a stand-up comic who just has a mental script that they're going through, and then somebody who's just kind of in the flow of it. Yeah. And even that person who is in the flow, they have bombed many, many, many times. Show me any successful comedian, I'll show you somebody that has bombed a lot, right? And to me, that's the art card, and it's a very important card. But that's the challenge, right? Because a lot of the time we go out, we bomb, and we say, "Phew, I'm never doing that again." 7 of Cups. But then we get stuck, right? And then if we say, "Oh, I'm never doing that again," then we're going to just we're going to be in quicksand. We're not going to be able to get out of that kind of, so the longer we stay stuck, the more difficult it is to get unstuck, right? It's that inertia. Once you're at rest, it takes a lot of force to to get up from that, right? It's a body at rest will stay at rest until acted upon by another force. Well, the longer we're at rest, it's kind of like we're just getting glued to the floor, and it's going to take a lot to push us again, right? That inertia is a hell of a drug. Yeah. So we don't need that. It could be that you're feeling a little bit of this now, because we go out, we test the waters, but we just can't have that liberation that we want with the Ace of Cups. But the 7 gives us the clue, because the 7 is that confidence. And even if we have to just tell ourselves, I'm confident, I'm confident, I'm confident, until we actually are, until our body kind of gets the hint and starts following along, then so be it. But this is the confidence that we can get unstuck from here. I want to look at the mystery card. I feel like this is really, this is a big win for you. This is you really overcoming a very huge obstacle in your life in terms of our internal environment. Yeah. So I want to see about this mystery card. I don't really have a prediction, except I want it to be something. I want it to be something successful, right? I want a 6 of anything, or a 9 or a 10 of cups. Yeah, 9 or a 10 of pentacles too. I'd take it. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Here we go. Oh, a 9 of pentacles. Oh, yeah. This is you doing it. This is you now. This is someone, look, that's someone on stage who's just in the flow. And it's kind of, you're just riffing. You're interacting with the audience, right? You're really feeling it. Maybe even just you forgot the jokes you were going to tell. You're just up there being funny, right? This is you really having that confidence that, that it's working. Right? And maybe it's going to take a lot to really get to this point. This is why it's a 9 of pentacles. It's a process. This is you going back again and again and again and again until you practically, like, it's your second home, right? And that's why we think of, oh, that's like a second home up there on that stage. Because you feel so comfortable. You can just put your pajamas on and kick back, and you're at ease. Like it's home, right? Which is what we've been talking about. This idea of just wanting to go home where I can just, I just be myself, right? Rather than being out on stage or out in the world stage or wherever it is. But this is you living your best life. And I feel like this is the liberation now, especially with that Ace of Cups. You're allowing yourself to live your best life. Nothing's holding you back. And I like it. I think this is really, really good. We're going to do an extended reading too if you want to stick around. There's a link up top. There is one down below. New readings for Cancer every Tuesday and Friday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, of course, please do. It's very important. I really appreciate it. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from, especially if you're a new viewer. I want to welcome you. Thank you for joining us. I want you all to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you, and we're all in this together.